story time.
What the dog doing?
I'm actually at my actual setup this time, taking video. Anyway, let me tell y'all what happened with this PC. So, I ended up picking up this PC from a friend of mine who was moving out of state, right? She's moving out of state. She had this extra gaming PC just lying around because I guess she just played Sims on it or something. So she just had it sitting in case she played Sims because she had a shit ton of mods or whatever. And so I ended up picking this up for $50, right? This computer had an i5 6600K, which is like a 4-core, 4-thread CPU from Intel. And it had a R9 390. I've never heard of that. I ended up researching that, and it's like a card that was released in like 2015 or something. So this was all in a full ATX case. It was in a Lee Landcool 2 mesh seat. And let me tell y'all, that case retails for I think over $100 brand new. It's a pretty nice case. It had 3 RGB fans in it. Cool. So my intentions of this PC, because it cost me $50, right? This was a steal, by the way. It had a 128 gigabyte SSD and then a Seagate 1 terabyte hard drive. It's pretty outdated. I think my friend built it back in like 2015. Yeah. Anyways, so I have this PC. I ended up wiping it completely again, brand new, installed a fresh installed Windows, and it worked fine. It had the R9 in there. It was a nice build. So my intentions of upgrading it, because it also only had two sticks of 4 gigabyte RAM, which was rated at 2400. It was red. The whole thing was red. And so I was like, all right, I'm gonna order another kit of RAM, same one, to make it 16. And then I was like, I was going to swap out the R9 390 for the exact same looking card, only a 1060. So I went on eBay, you know what I'm saying? I found a great deal on one. I think he had it for like 40, but I ended up offering the guy on eBay like $30 plus shipping, and turned out to be 40. And so here I am. The card comes in like 3 days after. The PC was unplugged at this time because I had another build that I was selling at the time, and I wanted to wait for the card to come in. So I put it back in the box that it came in because it had the original box. So I had it sitting there for a week. The card came in. I tested this 1060, and it had artifacting all over it. The screen was green. It surprisingly like booted up and posted into like BIOS, but the whole screen was green, right? I take picture of it, and I'm like, there's no way. One, the card was dusty as hell. And I was like, ain't no way this card is artifacting like that. And I'm surprised it posted, but. So what I did was I took it out my test bench, cleaned it, and then I was like, cool. Maybe it's artifacting because it's on this motherboard. Who knows? A lot of factors go into that. So then I was like, all right, I'm going to put it in the new PC that I was intending to use it in. And it booted up just fine. None of the green was gone. I said, hallelujah. It works. Okay, so the card's in. I boot up, and everything's fine, right? Everything's good. Everything's ready. Then I waited for the RAM. So it sat for another 4 days because I was waiting for the RAM. And I was like, okay, cool. Once I have the RAM, the new graphics card's in there, we're ready to boot. We're ready to sell. So the night before I posted, I ran it under a stress test, and it ran fine. I ran it under 3D Mark. I ran it under OCCT. I ran it for like an hour each, and then the night before I posted it, while I was making the listing on Facebook and OfferUp, I tested it for 3 hours. Stressed. I stressed it out. 100% on CPU, RAM, and GPU. It ran beautiful. It passed. So I was like, okay, cool. Thank God the card worked. So then I posted it. 2 days later, I sell it. I sell it to a dude on Facebook Marketplace. I posted it for $350. The guy offered me $320, and I was like, all right, bet $320. Whatever I get out of this computer, it's profit. I paid $50 for this thing. Plus, when I tried to post a refund for the card, in that time that I was waiting for the RAM, I messaged the guy because he said he wouldn't accept returns. And I was like, the card is artifacting, bro. And I sent him video and picture, and they gave me a refund for the card. So essentially the card was free. Now granted, this is where this is where I think it started messing up. So I post it, I sell it. Dude messages me on Friday talking about he had it connected and it wouldn't show display. And then he said something about a USB or whatever, and then it ended up working. And then 2 days after that, he messages me again and tells me that he tries to run Fortnite and tries to run Valorant, and none of the games would load. It would crash immediately. And I was like, what? He sends me like this ratchet ass message on Facebook Marketplace talking about this PC is shit and he wants a refund. So I message him and I'm like, what's going on, bro? Show me a picture of what's going on, what it's doing. And he explains to me that he keeps trying to run Fortnite, but it wouldn't download the right anti-cheat, so he couldn't run Fortnite. He said he downloaded Valorant, and every time he would try to boot up into the menu, it would throw him back to the desktop it wouldn't crash right there and then. It wouldn't black screen for him, but he said he did get two blue screens. So I'm like, all right, bro. I was like, let me test it. Let me go to you this time. He lives like 40 minutes away from me. And this was around 8 o'clock. And I was like, all right, bet, let's go. I drive over to dude's house. It blue screened, it crashed twice, and then as I was trying to boot into the main menu on Valorant, it would crash again. And I was like, something's wrong. In my head, I'm thinking it's a graphics card, because that was the only thing that was messed up in the whole computer before I sold it, essentially. But the card ended up working in the end, so who knows. So, whatever. I was like, all right, bro, here's the deal. I'm like, I could give you a refund. Straight up $320 back to you. Or I could build you a different computer. Now, this computer that I ended up giving him was the computer that I was going to end up posting after I sold him the original one. This had a Ryzen 5 3600 with a 1660 Super on a B450 motherboard in a Cooler Master... I forgot the name of the Cooler Master case. With a 512 gigabyte NVMe. This computer would have retailed, but I probably would have sold it for like $400. But I tried to make right with the dude. He was nice. He apologized for yelling at me through Facebook message. So I ended up building that computer the night that I came back home with the old one. Built it, and then the next morning I met him halfway. He gave me an extra $20 on top of what he already gave me, and essentially everything worked great. My experience with that was, I don't know, bro. I think the graphics card is just shit, honestly. I still have it. I have the R9 390 there. I have the 1060. I don't know if I should just post it on somewhere and be like, for parts. It looked like they worked. I don't know if it does now. I cleaned it out. Who knows? The R9 390 I know works because that's the card I tested first with everything in it before I try to upgrade it. So there's that. Essentially, that PC probably made me, honestly speaking, I think I made like still over $100 on that computer, on the one that I ended up selling him and him keeping. So that PC that ended up coming back to me, I parted it out. I only have right now the graphics cards, the R9 390 and the 1060. I sold the case, I sold the motherboard, I still have the CPU, and I might still have the RAM. I think I have somebody who was interested in it. But yeah, I mean, that experience has taught me a lot. Um, when you're flipping PCs, you want to make right. Obviously, sometimes the customer ain't right. You know what I'm saying? But like in this aspect, I shouldn't have sold that PC with that graphics card in it. I'm gonna be straight up. I think the card was the reason why it would not post, or it would not, run games. But in my care, when I had it before I sold it, I did run the finals on it. I did run Fortnite on it, and I did run 3D Mark. Like I said, it ran perfectly fine the night before I posted it. So I don't know. I honestly had, after it came back to me and after dealing with having to give the guy another computer, I was just like, you know what? You're better off in parts, bro. But other than that, that's pretty much what I have for you guys right now. I'll just run the little montage of me unboxing some of the things from AliExpress. Right now, AliExpress is probably has like the best prices on motherboards right now for B450s. My market, dude, I have people selling B550s for over $100. I cannot find a motherboard under 60, which is insane. I still have inventory. I'm still looking around Facebook Marketplace and seeing stuff like that. I rarely shop on eBay, but I should be looking in there. I also managed to get into on Reddit PC hardware swap. I joined a group here in my own state where that flips PCs and stuff like that and sells parts. So I'm hoping I get more good deals and I don't get finessed. And I also hope that all the PCs I build in the future don't run into the same problems I dealt with this computer that I tried to flip. It would have been nice if it worked. But sadly, I don't know. Honestly, I have no idea what could happen. I honestly had no energy to even check to test. I was just like, you know what? You're better off. You're better off being sold separately, bro. But yeah. Let me know if you guys want to see have links of stuff that I've bought from AliExpress, or any comments, concerns, anything. Just a hello would be great. But I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.